Hi everybody, my name is Amy Bearce, and I am the author of Fairy Keeper. I'm here today to talk to you a little bit about my book and answer some questions that I sometimes get. So Fairy Keeper is set in the world of Alluvia, which is a broken, dark world, but a world of magic. And there's fairies in this world, but they're not cutesy little fairies. These fairies are more like insects. They bite and they sting and they scratch. And Sierra is a fairy keeper, but she hates it. She was born with a fairy keeper mark on the back of her neck, showing that she has a magical ability to connect with fairies. Her father, Jack, loves having a fairy keeper in the family because he can take their magical nectar and create a very powerful elixir called flight that's illegal and dangerous, but it's also very addictive, and so people will pay any price for it. And Sierra hates being a part of that production, but because of her little sister Phoebe, whom she loves and wants to keep safe, she does what Jack asks her to do. So one day, Sierra goes out to the field to collect more fairy nectar, and all the little fairies have died, and her fairy queen is missing, and she has no idea why. And Jack is furious because he just made a deal with another dark alchemist to trade a large amount of flight, and now he doesn't have any fairy nectar to make this flight. So he owes this guy money and decides, I guess I'll need to trade Phoebe as an indentured servant since I can't trade my product. And this would probably kill Phoebe because she's young and she's a very gentle soul. And so Sierra says, please don't send her away. I will go find my queen. I'll find a fairy queen and you can build your production again, but please don't send Phoebe away. So she has to go on this journey, and she goes with her best friend Corbin, who's also a fairy keeper, and a girl named Nell that her father sends with her to kind of keep an eye on him, and she and Nell do not get along. And along the way, she discovers there's a lot more to this problem than just her fairy missing. But the question is, can she find the missing fairy queens? And can she use the part of herself that she's always rejected, her ability to bond with fairies? Can she accept that part enough to bring the fairies back with her so she can save her sister? One of the questions I get asked fairly often is, how long did it take me to write Fairy Keeper? And the answer is, it took about a year, but it wasn't a year all put together. So I started this story, and then I got another idea for a different story, and I stopped Fairy Keeper, and I wrote that story. And then I went back to this story about a year later and finished it. And I was also in graduate school at the time for library science, so I wasn't writing every day. I would write a couple hours here and a couple hours there. But overall, it probably took about a year. And then once you sign your contract, it takes a year to 2 years to be published, and it took me about a year from when I signed my contract with Curiosity Quills to when it became available to the public. Another question I get asked quite often is about the cover, and people want to know if I designed my cover or drew my cover. And usually authors do not do their own covers. I was fortunate that I got to have some say into my cover. Curiosity Quills gave me a worksheet and asked what would I like to see on my cover, and I said I would like to see the Fairy Keeper mark on the back of her neck, and they hired a wonderfully talented artist named Amalia Chitislescu, who designed my cover and was able to incorporate that Fairy Keeper mark into her design, and I'm super thankful because I love my cover so very much. Alright y'all, thanks for watching. If you have any other questions, I would love to hear from you. If you go to my webpage at www.amybearce.com, there are links to all the different social media sites I'm on, and you can find me on Instagram and Tumblr and Twitter and so on. Would love to hear from you. There's also a contact form that will send me an email directly if you prefer to contact me through there. So thanks again for watching, and I hope to hear from you. I hope you enjoy Fairy Keeper.